good, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is good, holy, holy. All one, holy, holy. All one, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is one, holy, holy. All God, holy, holy. All God, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is God, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is good, holy, holy.
Thank you, Barbara. That was lovely. I hope you don't mind. I know you're very shy, but I'm gonna brag on you quite a bit right now. Barb and I have been members and friends for many, many, many years. And as our music director, I just want to assure you that she is very well qualified. She is well educated, experienced, musician, composer, lyricist, performer, and has played in many venues around the states. She also, if that's not enough, is a dental hygienist, and I can tell you she's a wonderful one because I'm terrified of the dentist. And when I was able to see her, she made it a comfortable place to be. She's a certified herbalist. She's very concerned with health for her friends and family and herself. She's also the most generous heart. She, as busy as she is, she always makes time to help other people. And the best part of all is she's the mommy of two beautiful Bengal cats. I just want to give her credit because she's an incredible being, and I don't know how she does everything she does. Um, she's just amazing, and she's just a very sweet, wonderful person. So thank you, Barbara, for all that you do. You do make a difference in so many ways.
Thank you, Lenny. And so do you.
Wonderful. Well, I am Linny. I'm Lynn Richard, and I am so happy to welcome newcomers, welcome everyone to Unity of the Seacoast, this lovely spiritual community. We straddle the tri state area of Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine, and we are the only Unity church in the state of New Hampshire. We're very proud of that. One of the things that we do every day, people in Unity do every day, is look at the Daily Word. It's a wonderful little magazine that comes out. It's inexpensive, and we always have one in the house for that day. But also, there's nice stories and poetry in there. It's very uplifting. It's a wonderful way to start your day. Today's Daily Word is dominion. Claiming dominion, I am calm and confident. I'm a powerful spiritual being endowed with dominion, the authority to take command of my thoughts, words, and actions. Even as I work to change my circumstances, I remember I'm not constrained by what is happening around me. Claiming dominion, I choose my response in all situations. I live with poise and confidence. I claim dominion over my thoughts and feelings. When I recognize limiting thoughts, I train myself to affirm my spiritual power and freedom. Divine wisdom guides me. I feel the strength of the indwelling Christ presence moment by moment, thought by thought. As I use my dominion to establish a positive, fulfilling direction for my life. And our scripture for today is Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And then God said, let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion. Dominion. Claiming dominion, I am calm and confident. And I just wanted to share with you, I'm reading an incredible book called The Nation of Plants. And it's a radical manifesto for humans to begin to understand that dominion is about taking care of. We have authority, but we also have responsibility to take care of all living things on this earth. And one of the quotes from the book that I love is, the earth shall be the common home of life. Sovereignty shall pertain to every living being. And that author is Stefano Mancuso, and it's The Nation of Plants, a radical manifesto for humans. We also have a mission statement. We do have a mission that we work hard to fulfill, and it is, we are a loving, nurturing community dedicated to being a positive path to spiritual living, to awaken oneness with God within us all. We have a prayer team that prays every day for the requests that we get. Excuse me. Sometimes people email Unity or us, Unity of the Seacoast, or each week you're offered the chance to put the names or initials or heart, a little heart emoji, in the bottom of the face chat, or I'm sorry, on Facebook, the chat. And that team takes those names and we pray over them for 30 days. They are then submitted to Silent Unity, and another 30 days they're prayed over 24/7. It's very powerful. There's also a Unity 800 number that you can call any time of the day or night. A real person will pick that number up and you will speak to a real person. You can also email them if you're not able to speak at that time. I know I've had some crises where I couldn't even talk on the phone at that time, but I emailed them and they'll send you a beautiful prayer of affirmation. If you're interested in being on that team, or if you have someone you would like us to pray for, let Tom know, and his email is scrolling across right now, tom@tschineler@yahoo.com, and he will get you in touch with the right person, and we will pray with you, for you. We also have chaplains, so if you would like a personal prayer, Tom can always put you in touch with one of our chaplains to pray with you personally. Each week we ask you to check out our website. The reason for that is there's so much on there. The resources are just amazing. You'll get ways to connect to the Unity radio station, which is amazing. It's wonderful to listen to. There's podcasts and amazing uplifting music. So go to our website, unityoftheseacoast.org, and there's just so much on there. Really, take a little time to look through all the pages. And of course, that's where our donate button is. And we are a working church. We are a church that tithes 10% of everything that comes in out again to the community. And also have a savings account and a checking account, and are trying to build funds to be able to have a live in-person place to gather. So we would really appreciate anything that you can donate to help us build on this. We want you as our spiritual family, and we want to be able to serve you in the best possible way. And in this earth, it does take money to do so. Any way you can help, we appreciate very much. We have a new mailing address, and for a couple of weeks, the wrong box number was on there. Just a typo, miscommunication. But be sure to change your records to Unity of the Seacoast, Post Office Box 1676. You'll see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen right now, and that's in Dover, New Hampshire, 03821. We also have our first Monday meditation, which will be tomorrow, first Monday in February. And that's Charlie Richard, who is a Unity trained chaplain and has been doing these meditations on the first Monday evening of each month at 7 p.m. It's on Facebook. You should see it listed there as an event, and he also has a little video commercial that he did to show you who he is and what it will be about. And tomorrow night is going to focus on divine love, which we all need and this world needs. So we invite you and would love to see you at 7 o'clock tomorrow night on Facebook Live, Unity of the Seacoast. Thank you, Charlie. Enjoying them very much. You also can go on our website and see past meditations that Charlie has done. Also, if you haven't received your tax letter yet, please let Tom know, and I will initiate that to you right away. We're going to be having another membership meeting after service next Sunday. We have been working with Unity Worldwide, and we have the final revision of our bylaws. We've updated them, made them more current and more realistic in this world we're living in right now. We really need your attendance and your input on that. So next week, after service, 11 o'clock, there'll be a membership meeting, and we really would love for you to show up to that. Look forward to seeing you, hearing what you have to say about it. So we also, Tom also has been doing this on our service on YouTube, the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel also. So if you use YouTube, you can go to YouTube and put Unity of the Seacoast in the search box, and our channel will come up. And there's quite a bit of history there. There's past reverends, past services, and current as well. So that might be something fun to check out. And I know for me personally, YouTube is easier than Facebook. Everyone has their own little favorite way of doing that. So today in our prayers, most especially, we're going to hold Barbara, our music director, in prayer. She lost another aunt this week. Her Aunt Marjorie, and we pray and affirm that everyone in the family has what they need to go through this process, to have loving memories and support each other through the loss. We also have in prayer Reverend Pat Bessie, who is the Reverend of the Unity of Maine, Greater Portland, Maine, who recently lost her husband. He had been ill for quite a while, and we're relieved that he is now free, but also want to send all the support and love we can to Reverend Pat, who is just a most wonderful person. There will be no fellowship today, evidently. So we will look forward to seeing you next week instead at the membership meeting. But today, after service, there will be no fellowship meeting. Another wonderful thing about Unity is, and I've been to many Unities in different states, is the Namaste Practice, which is a greeting. And it's a holy greeting. It's a greeting where you just open up your heart and your spirit, and you put your hands together in prayer form. You look deep into someone's eyes, knowing that it means in Sanskrit, the Christ in me sees the Christ in you. And let's do that now. I do with you. I see the Christ in you. Namaste. And if there's someone in the room with you, please share with them. Namaste. And I consider pets equal spirits. Namaste, your little pets. The Christ is in them as well, all living things. So namaste to you. I see the Christ in you. And my producer here, Charlie, who's on the side, let me know that I didn't mention Vermont. Sorry, Bev. We're also attached to Vermont, although we're quite a haul from there. But we serve anyone who wants to come in. We have some snowbirds. We have people that visit in the summer from Florida to get away from the heat, actually. And so we have those members that come too, and that's always delightful. So now, as we breathe into the Namaste, let's hear another song from Barbara.
I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. I know the light of love is shining in my eyes. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. I know the light of love is shining in my eyes. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. A little bird told me life is so sweet. Listen to her song and know I'm complete. I have all the keys to love and joy and peace. Powers in me, love will increase. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. I know the light of love is shining in my eyes. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Indeed, it's the essence of affirmation right there. I am happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. And we can be that with the help of unity teachings. We get to understand that we are that. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it very much. So now we're going to hear from our Reverend Tom Schindler. And I am delighted that he's chosen prosperity for the next couple of weeks, because that is probably the hardest and biggest lesson that I've learned through these almost 20 years of unity, is that I am prosperous, and giving is receiving. And the more you become conscious of that, the more amazing and miraculous it is. So I'm really looking forward to what Tom is going to tell us about prosperity today, Tom.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Barbara. I always love when we get together like this, even though it's in a screen. I can't wait till we get rid of the Brady Bunch box and we're live. But I enjoy this each Sunday. I apologize for the no fellowship today. I've been feeling under the weather, and I'm just going to take that time to sleep away the afternoon. So forgive me for that. I decided that I would take a look at prosperity. I thought I would do this at the beginning of the year, but January seemed to have its own flow to it. So I postponed it for a month and decided I would take these 2 weeks to do it. And I'm going to use the book loosely by Edwin Gaines, The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity. But mostly I add my own thoughts and ideas that make sense to me as well. Because my intent is not to give a book report, but to use it as a guide for my understanding. Her 4 spiritual laws are tithing, goal setting, forgiveness, and divine purpose. But I'm going to add another one, and I believe it should be first. Gratitude. If you are not grateful, and I mean truly grateful for what life has already given you, then how can you be open to receive more? And why would the universe provide more if you are closed off to what it's already given you? And each day, I take a moment to think of the things I'm grateful for, and I could be much better at it. I don't often give thanks at meals or right in the moment. But I make sure once a day to take time to be thankful for all my blessings. You know, like you, I've gotten to this moment because of all the blessings in my life. You know, hopefully you feel abundant. You know, I look at my expanding belly sometimes and I have an excess of abundance. Each day, when I do my gratitude practice, I think of the things that I'm grateful for. And I'm very sincere, and the list is never generic, though there are things on it that repeat. I'm grateful for my relationship with God. I am grateful for my personal understanding of Jesus and his words and what they mean to me. I'm grateful for my Casey, my children, and I visualize them clearly each morning in this prayer. I'm grateful to go to the gym. I'm grateful for the blue blanket on my recliner. I'm grateful for the kindness and love of each of you. I've been grateful for a paintbrush or rain. Anything that has become part of my growing and has moved me forward, I give thanks for. Does it work? Well, I usually do this before I get out of bed each day. When I begin my day on a solid footing of gratitude, my day and my attitude is better. But perhaps that's not enough for you to hang your hat on. I'm sure you've all heard this story, but that's what I do. I tell things over and over again. After heart surgery, my transplanted kidney was failing. On Sunday, they came in and told me I would be on dialysis Monday morning. First, I cried. And then I thought about the 23 years that kidney has given me and had saved me. That kidney, in a sense, was a new member of my team, and it gave me health and normalcy. I spent that evening thanking the kidney for all that it had done. I thought of moments in my life that might not have happened without that kidney, things that I may have missed. I've worked because of it. I've had time with Casey and my kids, and all the things that I can think of that I'm grateful for happened under the watch of that kidney. It was meant to aid in the life of another human, but sadly, it didn't work out that way. And their family, in their darkest moment, offered it up for someone to get, and that person turned out to be me. It has aided in my life, and I am thankful for it. And I thought about these moments with such sincere gratitude. In the morning, they drew blood. A little while later, they came in, and they told me that they were going to hold off on dialysis because the kidney had seemed to improve. And each morning, they drew blood, and the kidney had gotten better and better and better until it was working better than at any point it had since it had been transplanted into my body. And that's been a couple years, and it's had its ups and downs. Right now, it's plateaued and it's fighting strong. But those are the things that have gotten me here. There are events in your life that have gotten you to this moment. And it's in that thought that I want to begin and place this meditation right here. So I'd like you to breathe in. Get your feet comfortable. Relax on the floor. Take a few breaths. Inhale, exhale at a comfortable pace. I invite you to close your eyes if it's easier for you to focus. And I invite you to begin to picture the things that you are grateful for. Visually picture them. Did you have a good breakfast this morning? Are you watching this on a computer? There was a time when we could not get together like this. Do you love someone? Are you loved by someone? As long as I'm talking, I hope you know that you are loved by me. Do you have a pet or a special skill that you're thankful for? Take a moment to think of anything in your life. Psalm 16:5. The Lord is my chosen portion and my cup. You hold my lot. We each have things that we are grateful for. Take this moment to acknowledge these things. We acknowledge it as God's great pleasure to give us the kingdom. And we acknowledge that we have been receiving the kingdom always. We receive it in the knowledge that there is one power and one presence in the universe. God the good and great omnipresence. I invite you to open your eyes and come back to me now. You know, sometimes it's hard to see at times the abundance that we feel like we're struggling. We may have adopted attitudes that limit ourselves. I grew up being told I was poor, so I believed I was. Money in abundance was not for me. I could make enough, but it was limited. When I reflect on that, I realize it's false beliefs. All the things that were needed to get me to this moment happened. And I've struggled at times, yet that was part of the blessing. And for all that, I am grateful. But perhaps you're thinking, well, Tom, I want more. Is that so unreasonable? Well, no, not at all. All the things that out there for us were created and are there for us. New cars are just not for other people, new clothes, etc. Dream big, it's okay. But the desire for more should not interfere with your spiritual connection to God. But let's face it, having nice things, taking nice vacations feels good. Would a loving God deny us from feeling good? Would a loving God limit our life in abundance? To live in prosperity, we must understand that we always live in abundance. We must understand that we do not live in a zero-based economy. There is enough for all. We've just not understood this. The world produces enough of everything for all. We just don't share it rightly. When we spend our lives protecting what we have for fear that if we give away, we may not have enough, then we are closed off to the abundance because we're living in fear and lack consciousness. Like attracts like. What we think about, we receive. Thoughts held in mind bring about in kind. Do you believe this, or are they just words? If you live a life closed off, then how are you open to receive? And that's where tithing comes in. Tithing is giving of yourself to that which inspires you. I also include being open to where your gifts are needed. If you can give of yourself, then you are showing the universe that you are abundant. You are so abundant and so prosperous that you have enough to give. And the universe responds and gives you more. Abundance and prosperity is recognized in you, and it attracts in kind. It takes faith at first. And you may think, well, Tom, I only have $100. If I give 10 away, then I have 90 left, and that's not enough to get done what I need to get done. And there's something correct in that thought process. But what if faith tells you to trust if you offer $10? It may appear that you have less, but more comes to you, and it always will. Are you open to believe that? I have my own memory to trust in faith. I remember the fear moments, and they did not help me. I remember struggling. I remember lack, and it did not feel good. It was a weight. But I also remember the times when I felt like I had nothing to give, but I gave. And here I am good, and I am whole. And you may think, seriously, Tom, I'm struggling. It feels like I'm not going to make it. I'm not anywhere. I'm not doing my job if I do not recognize the hardest moments in anyone's life. There are people who are fighting for every inch. How do I pay a food bill and still cover the rent? Will I have heat? Am I about to be evicted? Cannot afford my medicines? And you can amplify this to your own more real life problems. I only know what I've been through. I do remember eating a bag of chips for about a week until I wound up in the hospital malnourished with fluid around my heart because of all the salt. I had spent everything I had on medications. It's so hard to trust in faith during these moments. It's hard to give of yourself when you feel that your tank is empty and there seems like there's nothing in sight. It's so hard when it seems like your personal world is falling apart. And I feel so much for you, but I do know it gets better. I've seen it in me. I've seen it in others. I've seen those in the lowest of places eventually rise. And I know because I am one of those. It's hard to paddle upstream against the current, but you know you must. And it's for you that I'm speaking to, because it does pay off. You know, we're conditioned, and maybe rightly so. If Jimmy has 10 apples and he gives one away, how many does Jimmy have left? Because the apple represents a tangible, and we live in a material world in a sense. And we're asked to believe in something we do not see. We're asked to believe that Jimmy may give one away, but in doing so, he may have more. It's a hard concept to grasp. But the reasons I tell you personal stories is because we need proof. We're all doubting Thomases at one point or another. And I know there's a certain amount of you who will not take what I say at face value. I am okay with that. But with all my talks, my hope is that you mull them around to come to some kind of conclusion that works for you. You know, it's easy to skip the steps that are difficult, especially the ones that are most difficult. But when you skip the steps, you also skip the full potential of the results. You know, tithing is not a requirement. Because if it's done as a requirement, it's a disobedience to the spiritual law of it. Tithing comes from the heart to that which moves you. It should make you feel good. It's not wrong to feel good about giving. People also think that they should not talk about when they tithe or give of themselves. I'm on the fence about that. I mean, I don't like to talk about what I give, but I will talk about what I've done for others. We each have a level of comfortness in what we say. Look, if you want to give of yourself toward others and you want to talk about it, so be it. Give away. Reap the feeling. You want to brag about being generous? Then go brag. People brag about their accomplishments all the time. People brag about how much they make. I would rather hear someone brag and boast about the good that they've done to lift up others. And then imagine how awesome that story gets when they follow with, and then more abundance landed on my lap. You know, I mentioned Psalm 16:5 in my meditation. The Lord is my chosen portion and my cup. You hold my lot. I could have picked very many other verses in the Bible about giving and helping. Abraham tithed, Jesus gave, etc. But I thought this verse explained it simply. The Lord is my chosen option. Given from your highest nature is a choice. From that, God holds your lot, meaning your gift. From your gift, God grants you abundance. Other translations call it your inheritance from God. God is the all substance that is. And that's what we give to and from. And in God, in turn, is the all substance that flows back to us. That apple that Jimmy gave went out into the abundance of the universe, along with everyone else's apples who added to the abundance. And wow, there's so many apples that we all can replenish ourselves. I remember the first time I focused on tithing. I'd been saving for a guitar. I could never seem to afford it. And I began tithing. And trust me, I was reluctant. Given 10% of my income was certainly not going to get me closer to buying that guitar. But yet I had made a commitment. And to be honest, up to this point, what I was doing was not working. So 10% each week went. And each Sunday after church, I went down to the store and I played that guitar. Then one Sunday, the salesperson asked if I was going to buy it today. The guitar was $3,189. It sounded like it was me. It was meant for me. It had gold inlay and gold tuning pegs, and yet it still seemed humble. I offered the man what I thought I could afford, which is about half. We settled on a price that was $100 more. But he threw in the case, threw in a strap, and he waived the taxes. Driving home, I stopped at the bank to check my balance and realized I must have made a mistake. Somewhere, because I had enough money to go back to the store and purchase the PA system that I wanted also. All this was far more than I had ever tied. I still have that guitar. I still have that PA system. That's what we used at the outdoor service. Marianne Williamson used it when she came to New Hampshire. So I got this great deal. I got fun memories, and I still have the stuff. All for tithing. Why should you tithe? Well, not 100% sure. Is it about wanting physical things? Is it about more? Well, it's about both. Everything we do here is a balance between the physical and the spiritual. It's okay to want things, to find joy in them. What we do, as Edwene Gaines says, we call it putting God first in your finances, and then God responds. But it's not only your finances that you give of. Maybe part of your 10% is what you do for others. Develop an attitude of giving from your heart. You may have heard me say this. It doesn't have to be big. Life happens in the small moments. Each time I see a person trying to take a picture, a group picture, and I know that person will not be in it, I volunteer to take that picture for them. I often thank people for their kindness. I ask people about themselves. I don't leave a doctor's appointment till I've gotten them to engage themselves. When I plow my driveway, I make sure my neighbors are plowed out too. I learned a man down the street has cancer, and I saw his landlord trying to clear his driveway. I plow that man out as well. Helps the man with cancer, saves the landlord from struggling to drive here and do the driveway. It's not a big deal on my part. I'm in a heated truck with music and coffee. Do these things matter? They matter a lot. Do you know how wonderful it was for me following my heart surgery when so many of you made me meals that I could just heat up? It may not have seemed big to you, but it was huge to me. I had trouble sitting upright, much less walking across the room. I would get winded walking to the bathroom. But to open the refrigerator and know I had something to eat was such a blessing for me. And for Casey, she knew I would be okay when she went to work. I would be okay because each of you chose to live in abundance and let it overflow to me. It's okay to think about the financial realm. Dwayne says money is a means to an end, not the end to itself. Because we've seen unlimited possibilities created in the awe that is, but we develop an attitude somehow that money is bad, or we're bad for wanting things that money can offer. We get caught up in the idea that if we pursue material things that we are failing. But we live in a world that money plays a part. If we want money for greed just to acquire it, then what's the point? If it is to separate us from others who have less, or to raise ourselves up as better, we are missing the point in the spirit of connection. Nowhere does God or the universe expect you to be above another. And I kind of think that's why Edwene Gaines put tithing as her first spiritual rule. Having things is nice. It's the cherry on top of a well-led life. But it should not separate you from the spirit of others. Tithing to others, giving to others, helping others keeps us connected, not elevated. Recognizing that we want things is okay. We all have those things that we dream about. Denying that we want them is like lying to ourselves, or a rationalization after we've decided we can't afford it, or we don't believe that we're worth it. I can live with what I have and live happily. I can live with my books and my guitar and my computer. We each have a minimum comfort level that we're okay with. But I want each of you to think for a second. Think about something that you desire. And I'd like you to write it in the comment box, and anything, and be selfish. And don't put the politically correct, spiritually correct thing. I want to end world hunger, want to end war. We all want those things. We want no more war. We want everyone whole. But this is about that one or two things that you may want. And it's okay. I want a cruising Harley so I can ride Route 66. I want a hippie van. I want an old VW Beetle. So put something in the comment box. Wanting these things does not make you bad. It did not make me bad to want my guitar and to acquire it. It did not make me less loving. It doesn't take away from me being a better person. It doesn't take away from you to living up to your Christ-like nature by setting goals and attaining these. Does any of these things mean that we're going to love humanity less or care less for others? Not if we're in tune with God and what our divine nature is. If one of you were to tell me that you wanted a limo to be driven around in, I would not think less of you, because I would know you would still be loving and caring. You'd just be doing it in a much nicer vehicle. If you're carrying the material things as part of your identity, then you're missing the point. There's that saying, it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the gates of heaven. Edwene Gaines has her own traditional meaning of this at the time that it was written. But I see it as when you carry your possessions as your identity, then your identity is not spirit, and it's too burdensome. The material is nice, but it's the spirit that connects us to heaven. Tithing is 10% to what inspires you. People get funky with this idea. Is charity, tithing, is it something that inspires? I tend to think that it does. I get inspired when I help others in need. When I've lifted others, given to a charity, it does something inspirational in me. So for me, it falls under that definition. You have to decide for yourself where it fits you. Lyndon mentioned it earlier, but I want to mention it again. Each month, the board at Unity of the Seacoast gets together, and we talk and we decide where the church tithes to. Because as a church, we believe in this and we do not waver. This is why we've been able to weather the pandemic. This is how we will grow. we never lose sight our divine purpose or our divine mission. Again, this is where the fifth principle comes in. It's not enough to know, we must do the work. Doing the work first is done in faith and trusting in awe. Dwayne Gaines tells a story in her book how she dismissed the tithing part of prosperity. She had been doing everything else, but things were not going her way. So she sought counsel from a priest. And he asked her about tithing, and she kind of excused the comment as if to say, you and I both know it's just a way for the church to make money. But the priest, like me, believes wholeheartedly in what he talks about. He dismissed her. He said if she wasn't going to take what he said serious, then there are others that he needed to attend to. She decided to take him serious, and it changed her life. And I don't know, nor do I want to know what or where people give. I assume people give, and they give elsewhere to their lives. I expect everyone to raise themselves up by living to their highest nature. I hear it, but I don't like when I hear the I can'ts. But it's hard not to think of those reasons when things are not working out well. But I tell you, I believe each week in what I talk to you about. I lay my heart open to you. You've seen me struggle. You've seen me tear up during talks. I leave none of myself out. So if I'm talking to you, I'm offering more than mere words, but the faith of all my convictions. I have faith in what I'm talking about today. I have faith in what we will continue to talk about next week. And we've all seen the benefits of practicing what we preach. And we've seen the effects dwindle when we get away from the practices. I know this above all. When I take all the principles of life that I've learned, including prosperity, and I apply it, my life falls into order. I live each day to its fullest. I play that same guitar every day. I have great hand skill. I've always wanted to build a unique car. I was given one, and I will build it this spring for Casey. I get to do my gratitude practice each morning, and that list grows. Next week I'll cover the 3 other parts of the book. But this week, to me, gratitude and tithing are so entwined and so important that I had to give them their just time. Gratitude is taking the universe and thanking the universe for all that you've been given, even when it feels like little. Tithing is showing the universe that you are abundant, that you live in abundance, and that it overflows, that your door of abundance is free-flowing, and the universe responds in kind. I know this is hard to put into action, but I ask you this: how is it working when you don't? I would like to take this time to turn our thoughts to others, to our friends or relatives, those in need, those we know don't know. I would like to wish them a prayer of wholeness and health and strength and abundance. And we know that we are created in God's image, love and wisdom, and that's the true image of God. Love and wisdom flows from us to others and flows back. So I ask you, if you're praying for someone or think of someone, write their name in the comment box. And if you're not comfortable writing their name, then add their initials. And if you're still not comfortable with that, hold them in thought and maybe add just a heart or a prayer emoji. And if you're able to, I always ask you to reach out and connect with that person, because the fastest way to make a prayer land is to call them and tell them you've been thinking about them. Tell them you love them. Make their day. There's another prayer that we do, the prayer of tithings and offerings. So I'd like each of you to place your hand over your heart and repeat this with me. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive. And so it is. I'm going to close this talk, as I always do, with the prayer protection. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let there be peace on earth. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it